let's make some ghosts together. So I'm using a 4.0 millimeter crochet hook, some small googly puppet eye, finger puppet eyes, and I'm using some cotton yarn. This one is just a medium weight 4. I got this at Michael's. And I also got these, actually, the small little glow-in-the-dark googly puppet eyes at Walmart. And of course, you can use any size hook, any type of yarn that you want. It's just going to make a difference on the size of your ghost. So to begin, we're going to take our yarn and we're going to start with a slip knot. So however you like to do your slip knot, I just hold my yarn like this. This is my working yarn from the skein. This is the tail end. I have it in my hand and a loop at the top. I put my fingers at the top and I twist it, and then I grab that working yarn from the skein and pull it through to create a slip knot. Then I'm going to take my crochet hook, insert it into that loop at the top, pull that working yarn to make that loop smaller and the same size as my crochet hook. Then I'm going to take my little googly eyes with them facing me. I'm going to crochet around this ring part, and I'm going to join with a single crochet. So to join with a single crochet, all you're going to do is insert your crochet hook underneath that ring and work a single crochet. So you would yarn over, bring that yarn through and up. You have 2 loops on your hook. You're going to yarn over and go through those 2 loops. And that's joining with a single crochet. And now I'm going to work over my tail. So I'm going to bring that up so I can work around it so I don't have to weave it in. And I like to do like 10 to 12 single crochets around this ring. So however many you can get in there. So we're going to work some more single crochets, and I'm just working around that tail so I don't have to worry about that. So that's 2. This is 3. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and this is number 10. I'm just going to kind of slide those over a little. I think I'm going to do 2 more, and you can do as many as you need to. You just want to make sure and cover that ring. It just depends on what type of yarn you used and your tension. And it doesn't matter how many you have over the ring. You just want to cover it. It just helps with the stability, and it just makes it look a little bit nicer at the top when we cover over this. Okay, so I have my 12. So now looking at our little googly eyes, we're going to chain 1. Whoops. And then we're going to have our eyes look down, and we're going to push our little single crochets up like a little bowl. And then over here we want to join with a slip stitch to that first single crochet that we did. So just take your hook and go over there, insert your hook into that stitch, and then join with a slip stitch. Like so. And then you're going to chain 1 again. And now with the eyes looking at you, you're going to move those single crochets on the ring towards you again. And you want to join with a slip stitch to the opposite side to that single crochet that's on this side of the ring. And you might have to make the loop that's on your crochet hook bigger in order to reach it, and that's fine. So you're going to go over here, insert your hook into that stitch, And when you do that, then you're going to take your working yarn and pull that working yarn so your ring on your loop on your hook gets smaller. So I just pulled that, and now we're going to join with a slip stitch. So I'm taking that yarn, bringing it through, and bringing it through the loop. There we go. So now we just did a join in the back and in the front of the googly eyes. And now we're going to chain one. And now we're going to start in the back, and we're going to work around this chain one, and we're going to do 8 single crochets. So insert your hook around that chain one and work a single crochet. So this is 1, and then do another one. This is 2. I'm going to pull up that loop real quick, and then I'm going to mark that first stitch. If you want to mark your stitch, you can. You don't have to, but I like to do it the first 2 rounds just to make sure I have my total number of stitches that I wanted. So I'm going to go ahead, and I'm just using a cute little bobby pin for a stitch marker this time. So I'm going to mark my first stitch that I did with my bobby pin. So I have 2 single crochets, and I want to do 8 here. So I have 6 more to do. So that was 2. And we're all going around that chain 1 space. So this is 3. 4. 5. 6. 7, and this is number 8. And now we're going to go to the front, and we want to work around this chain 1 space that we did here in the front. It looks a little funny because that loop we made bigger when we went and joined. So we're going to work our 8 single crochets around that. So this is 1. This is 2. And this is number 3. Number 4. This is number 5. Number 6. This is number 7. And this is number 8. So you should have a total of 16 single crochets, 8 in the back of the eyes and 8 in the front. And now all we're going to do is work a single crochet into each stitch around, and we're going to make sure that we do it into that first single crochet that we have marked. So I'm going to go ahead and just insert my hook into that single crochet and work another single crochet on top of that, like so. And then I'm just going to remove that stitch marker, and you can replace that stitch marker back into the new stitch that you made. Or if you're like me, you know that on the side of the eyes here, this is going to be your beginning of each round. and I'm fine with that. So we're working in continuous rounds. So I'm just going to make sure that I know that this is the beginning. So when I do end my little ghost, I want to make sure I'm ending right here. So now we're going to work a single crochet for like 7 rounds. And you can do as many rounds as you want. Another thing too is if you wanted to make the top of your little ghost bigger, you could do a chain of 1 or 2 before you join on the opposite side of the ring in the front and back here. And you can do less or more single crochets into those chains, whatever your preference is. I like to do 8. I like to switch it up, and then I just kind of push them up, and this makes the little googly eyes more straight when you're looking at them as a ghost versus having them slant down. So that's why I do the single crochet around the ring, and then I do the little chain 1 spaces, and then I work in the chain 1 spaces. It seems to help keep those googly eyes more straight. So now we're just going to work a single crochet into each of those stitches all the way around until you have the desired length of your ghost. I like to do like 7 or 8 rounds. So just continue to work your single crochet into each of those stitches all the way around. And I will see you guys back after I do about 7 rounds of single crochets. And if you worked your tail end here, go ahead and snip that off. If you did not, I would go ahead and weave it in before you get too far on your ghost. That way it's easier for you to weave in. And I'll see you guys back at the end of my 7th round. Okay, I'm back, and I did 8 rounds of single crochets for my little ghost guy, and I'm happy with that. So I am over here, and you can do as many rounds as you want. I'm going to go ahead and insert my hook there. So now I want to start in the back for my last round. So I'm going to go ahead and work a single crochet all the way to the center of the back. So I'm going to work until I get to the center of the back of my ghost, which is like right there. So now I'm going to work right here. I'm going to do a slip stitch into the next stitch like that. And then into the next one, I'm going to work 2 half double crochets. So I'm going to yarn over my hook, insert it into that next stitch, yarn over, bring that through and up. I have 3 loops on my hook. I'm going to yarn over and go through all 3 loops. And I'm going to do that again in the same stitch. Yarn over, insert my hook into that same stitch, yarn over, bring that through and up. I have 3 loops on my hook, yarn over and go through all 3 loops. So I just did 2 half double crochets. And now in the next stitch, I'm going to work a slip stitch. In the next one, I'm going to do 2 half double crochets. And you can see how the pattern is going to be, where I'm working 2 half double crochets, and then I'm slip stitching, and then I'm working 2 half double crochets, and I'm doing that all the way around. And this just gives us that cute little border for our ghost. So my 2 halves, my slip stitch, my 2 halves. So 1, 2, my slip stitch, my 2 halves, my slip stitch, and then again my 2 half double crochets, my slip stitch, and then our 2 half double crochets, and that should bring us to the beginning where we started. 1 and 2, and then I like to join. Right here's where we did our first slip stitch. I'm going to join from the back, so I just take my loop on my hook and just pull it up a little bit, and then I'm going to take my crochet hook and I'm just going to insert that crochet hook from the front to the back of that first slip stitch that we did, and then I'm going to grab that loop and pull it through. Whoops. And then I'm going to pull that working yarn, and then I'm going to fasten it off. It kind of makes like an invisible join, and pull that through. And then of course weave in my tails, which I'll do off camera. But there's our little joining, and there's our little ghost. Hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching.